Hello, welcome back to Zero Escape 2, Virtue's Last Reward. Okay, oh, hopefully we can save Quark. Maybe this is all just speculation though. Maybe we should go look for them again. One of us can stay behind so that we don't miss them if they come back.
わかった。それでは、私がここに留まろう。
では、私とシグマさんで2人の捜索を。
CD が解放される5分前には戻ってこいよ。あ、そうそう。ディオを連れてくるのを忘れないようにな。
Of course. This is the pantry?
そのようですね。
Well, looks like they're not here.
クオーク君捜索時の2人の担当箇所は赤の扉の先、すなわちこの部屋のはずですが。
Not gonna do us any good to hang around here, though. Let's head upstairs.
わかりました。
No one here either, huh? Timio's you love scotch so much. I thought we might find him here drinking some. Eerie music. It was around that time that I noticed K was acting strangely. He was staring at the shelf of alcohol in a way that I probably would have described as blankly if I could have actually seen his eyes. Hey, what's up? You want a drink?
あ、いえ。飲みたいのは山々ですが、私にはこの仮面がありますので。
Right. Sorry, that sucks. Honestly, I'd gotten so used to this suit, I kind of forgot that you were wearing it. Why the heck did they make you wear that thing anyway? You still don't remember anything?
実は、徐々に。
Really?
はい。
What did you remember?
父のことです。
When dad you when did you remember that? Did it just pop out of nowhere?
ふざけないでください。私は真面目に言ってるんですよ。
Sorry. So you remembered who your father was? Was that was a joke signal? What about your mom?
どうやらいないようです。私には
God.
母が。
Oh. So your dad raised you?
ええ。まあ。
Sigma with the puns. Okay, stopped for a moment, then calmly folded his hands in front of him.
私は父が働く研究施設の中で育てられました。その施設で働いているのは 父一人だけだった
He was a little robot when he was a
私
kid.
は成長するまで父以外の人間を見たことがありませんでした。しかし
He was a little baby robot.
何しろ生まれた時からその状況ですから、それを不審に思うことさえありませんでした。
He wouldn't allow me to go near him while he was working, but the only times he wasn't working were the times when he was sleeping. As such, the only communication I had was with the education software he'd given me. Did the suit grow with you then? I suppose I was a fairly expressionless child then. We developed body language to communicate with others, and with no one else to communicate with. I suppose it makes sense. Once I learned to read and write, I began to realize that my situation was not normal. Many of my books mention the mother as part of a family, and in several, the mother, father, and children would eat meals together and talk to one another. Soon, I found myself longing for a mother of my own. Someone who would always be with me, who would scold me if I did something wrong. At night, they would read to me before bedtime. If only I had a mother like that, I thought, I would be so happy. So, for the first time in my life, I asked my father for something. So is this what they're doing with him? He had finished working and, as usual, was making his way toward his bedroom when I stopped him and asked for a mother. So since he was a little boy, he's had the suit on, and then the suit grew along with him. He looked at me silently for a long moment before finally responding, okay. So they don't want to show who he is yet, and that's what they're doing to do it. I remember to this day how happy I was at that moment. A few months later, he called me into his laboratory. It was the first time he'd ever done anything like that. My heart was beating quickly as I stepped inside. Standing next to him was a young woman, and my hopes soared. But when he said her name, or rather, her ID number, they were dashed. He had given me a robot to play the part of a mother. I didn't want a mother that was just a machine who did what a human told her to. When I told my father that, he looked surprised for the first time in my life. Then he frowned, coughed, and admonished me for being a whiner. Hey, it's a rabbit, too. He never scolded me for anything before. At first, I was surprised, then angry. Hot tears streamed down my face. My father ordered the robot to take care of me and shoot us out of his lab. The robot was very convincing, and she smiled and spoke as if she was a real person, but I refused to answer her and locked myself in my room. You can talk to a robot and it will respond. But in the end, you're still talking to a machine, not a person. If that was what I'd wanted, I still had the education software my father had given me. When I ignored the robot as it tried to take care of me, it looked sad. It couldn't really be sad, of course. It was only programmed to look that way. A robot's facade of sadness didn't mean anything to me. After that, I stopped expecting anything from my father. I don't know. We had never really spoken to begin with, so it was easy enough for me to make sure we never saw one another. I don't know. I live my life as if he didn't even exist. Perhaps it seems strange to you that I continue to live with him. But I never considered leaving. Perhaps in the hidden depths of my heart, I longed for a relationship with my father. Everything changed when I was 18. I left my room one morning to find a woman standing outside of it. She was the first human I'd ever seen, apart from my father, and I was understandably surprised. For a moment, I thought my father had created a new robot, but when I told her that, she laughed and explained that she had come to help him. Wait, so is his father Zero? As it turned out, she was a very mysterious person. She was much older than I was, but something about the way she behaved was almost girlish. She would tell me stories about the world outside in such a way that I was never sure if she was telling the truth or making up fantastic lies. Ultimately, though, the truth didn't matter. I loved her stories. She wasn't helping my father directly with his research, so I spent most of my days with her. Before long, I discovered she'd known my father when she was young. She told me stories of how he'd fallen in love as a younger man, and I began to imagine that the person he'd fallen in love with had been her, and that she was, in fact, secretly my mother. After she settled in with us, our long-established routine began to change drastically. First, we started to eat together. Before then, I had never shared a meal with anyone in 18 years. She scolded me for my table manners, or more accurately, the lack thereof. If I was going to eat with others, she said, I would need to be more polite. Having eaten alone for my entire life, manners had never been something I'd even thought about. Tosin got in trouble too when he made the mistake of reading through research papers during dinner. The look of surprise and embarrassment on his face made me burst into laughter. I couldn't remember the last time I'd shared a laugh with my father. It might have been the first time. The room we considered our living room changed too. Before, it had just been another room, but she made it comfortable. After we finished our dinner, I would sit on the sofa and relax with her and my father. Those times were the ones I cherished the most. For a little while every day, I got the family I'd longed for ever since I was a child. At her suggestion, I started to help with my father's research. He specialized in genetic engineering, and I discovered I had an interest in it as well. Time faded away as I lost myself in research. Now that we were working and studying together, my father and I had a great deal to talk about. For the first time in my life, we began to speak with one another like a father and son. Whenever I impressed him with something I'd learned, I felt a surge of happiness, and it drove me to study even harder. My days felt full, bright, and meaningful, but most importantly, I was happy. Hmm. 4 years passed in the blink of an eye, until one day I happened to overhear my father and the woman speaking in the laboratory. Oh, their tone was serious, so I listened closer, curious to know what they were talking about. That was when I heard her say that she planned to give her life to achieve their goals. She kinda looks like that woman. It was clear that she wasn't being metaphorical. She would have to die. I was in shock. The research I had thrown myself into would lead to her death. I asked my father to stop his research immediately. He refused to listen. She agreed with him. She told me that she had been prepared for what she had to do since the day she came to our facility. My father had known about it from the beginning as well. Angry and disappointed, I began to investigate what exactly the research I'd been helping with was working toward. Perhaps, I thought, I could figure out a way to keep her alive. I discovered much more than I'd bargained for. To begin with, I learned that the ultimate success of my father's research would require a good deal of sacrifice. And I also learned that my own existence was just another part of his project. I had been created to function as my father's spare. If he died during his research, I was intended to continue it in his place. I was stunned. I was furious with my father, and with her, and even with the research I poured myself into for 4 years. There was only one thing to do: destroy the facility and end my father's horrible research, once and for all. I made plans to destroy the main reactor, and with it, the entire facility. But she saw right through me. My father was livid and locked me in my room until his research was complete. All I could think of was how I might stop him. She did her best to convince me that I'd misunderstood, that everything would be fine. As much as I wanted to believe her, I remembered in the back of my mind that she had been the one who pushed me to become involved in my father's research, had that been an earnest desire to give me something to do with my life, or... Still, I couldn't bring myself to hate her. She had given me a reason to live. Even if she had conspired with my father to mold me into his replacement, the warmth she'd shown me had been real. She'd made me feel as if I had a real family, and that was something I wouldn't have given up for the world. I pleaded with her to leave, but she quietly shook her head. There was someone very special to her, she told me. He had saved her life once, and she felt her death would help to repay that favor. She would have liked nothing more than to marry him and live a happy, normal life together, but she couldn't. For his sake, she said, and for the sake of the future she had wanted, she was determined to see my father's research succeed. I realized then that although she was the most important person in my life, there was someone more important than me in hers. She tried to explain that beyond what we could see was a future where no one would have to die, but I refused to listen. What good was a potential future to me? It was what I had now that I wanted. I couldn't stand to think that she would give her life for a man I'd never even seen. So I shut myself off from the world. Perhaps that is why I lost my memory. Oh, Kay let out a deep, tired sigh.
すみません。すっかりと長話をしてしまいました。
It's okay.
記憶というのはないと不便ですが、戻れば戻ったで面倒なものですね。
So you remember almost everything?
いえ、細かいところはまだ不明のままです。特にここ最近のことは何も。申し訳ありませんが、シグマさん、少し横になってもいいですか？
What's wrong?
具合が悪いのです。あまりにもいっぺんに昔のことを思い出したせいでしょうか。頭が割れるように痛んで。
Are you okay?
ええ。しばらく休めばすぐに良くなると思います。
Okay, touching story. Take as long as you need. I'll go look for Clover and tend to myself.
すみません。よろしくお願いします。
Kay lowered himself heavily onto the red sofa in the corner of the room. Well, guess I'd better get moving then. I stepped out of the room and nearly ran into Phi. What are you doing? You're supposed to be waiting back in the warehouse.
わかってる。ちょっと様子を見に来ただけだよ。待てど暮らせど誰もやってくる気配がなかったから。その感じだとまだ見つかってないみたいだな。四つ葉と天明寺。
Yeah.
K は
He's in the lounge.
別れることにしたのか？
Well, not quite. Instead of waiting for my answer, she opened the door to the lounge and walked in.
Oi, どうしたんだ K のやつ。
I guess he's not feeling too well. He said he wanted to rest for a bit.
大丈夫なのか？
I think so. We should leave him alone right now, though. Remember, there's a real person inside that suit. I'm sure he's just tired.
疲れか。シグマ、お前の方はどうなんだ？
What?
顔に疲労感がにじみ出てるぞ。3日3晩履き続けた靴下みたいになってる。
Really? Well, I guess I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little exhausted. I mean, all of a sudden, I wake up trapped in some weird game, and then dead bodies start turning up. Honestly, I'm amazed I've managed to hold on to my sanity for this long. Just about everything here makes absolutely zero sense. The more I try and figure any of it out, the more I feel like my brain's just going to melt and run out my ears. You know what I'm talking about, right? We managed to figure out who the killer was, but there's still 100 other questions we have no idea about. Where are we? Why are we even here? What's this whole nonary game thing for? And what is Zero Senior up to? How about who Zero Senior is? The rabbit said he was one of us, but... Do you think it's Dio?
さあどうだろう。
Besides, we still don't know why Dio killed them. He said he was ordered to do it, but... And there's more, too. What about the old lady? Who is she? What's her deal? What are any of our deals? I don't know anything about anybody here. I don't even know anything about you, Phi.
おいよせよ。私のことを疑ってるのか。
No, that's not it.
私はお前と同じようにわけもわからぬままにこの施設にさらわれてきただけだ。12月の
What?
25日に
I think she said a little more than that. She trailed off. Huh? Maybe she simplified it. I don't know.
Ah.
You heard that, right?
確かに聞こえた。通路の方からだ。
Let's go have a look. Maybe they got on the elevator?
ボタンを押してみよう。扉がすぐに開かなかったらエレベーターは今下の階にあることになる。やっぱりだ。
Let's go. Which way? Where do you think they went?
とりあえず緑の扉の方に行ってみよう。
Why?
この扉の先には治療室がある。そしてあの部屋のポットの中にはクオークとディオが。
So?
気になるだろう。二人が無事かどうか確認しておきたいんだ。
They're fine. Tenyoji or Clover probably made that noise. Well, maybe both of them. But I don't think they hurt Quark or Dio.
言い切れるか。ディオはローバの殺害については犯行を認めたが、アリスとルナをやったのは自分ではないと言っていた。もしもその言葉が本当だとしたら。
Are you serious? You're gonna believe him?
とにかく無事なら無事でそれでいいんだ。念のため確かめておきたいだけなんだよ。
Alright, fine. We headed to the first pod. I cracked open the top and lifted it back. There was Quark, sound asleep. See?
ああ、確かに 杞憂だったのかもしれんな。ディオの方はどうだ？
Let's open his. What the?
シグマ、脈を。
It was pointless to check his pulse. He was obviously dead, but I did it anyway. Yeah, he's dead.
見ろ。
Oh.
ポット内の酸素濃度が 0% になっている。
Oh, then that means he asphyxiated. Oh, but why?
誰かがこの装置を操って
Oh,
酸素濃度を下げたんだろう。
who?
とにかくこのことをケンに知らせに行こう。ほら、行くぞ。
Pretty bad way to die. I'd rather die like that than getting stabbed. Oh, that's just not as good as bad as getting stabbed without letting me free to fall. Time to fight me right off. I took a deep breath and followed. Getting stabbed is just horrible. Phi and I burst into the lounge and ran up to Kay. Kay, wake up. Something's happened. When he didn't move, I grabbed him by the shoulders and shook. He twitched and quickly sat up. Dude, I'd rather get shot than stabbed. Getting stabbed is very painful. We explained how we found Dio dead, and how it looked like he died of asphyxiation. It appeared that someone had reduced the oxygen level of his pod to 0.
そんな、なぜあの老婆とアリスさんとユナさん3人を殺害したのはディオさんのはずなのに、その殺人犯であるはずの彼がどうして。
The only people who could have done it are Clover and Tenyoshi.
あるいはクオークという可能性も。
What? No. That's impossible. Are you suggesting Quark woke up, opened his pod from the inside, killed Dio, and then went back to sleep?
あくまでも可能性の話だよ。考えられないこともないと言ったまでだ。
でしたらファイさん、
Oh, God, an
大変
error.
申し上げにくいのですが
Sigma.
あなたにも可能性はあるのでは。
私に？
そうです。私とシグマさんが B 階の倉庫を出て行った後ならいつでも犯行は可能だったでしょう。
おいおい、冗談はその見てくれだけにしてくれ。私はずっと B 階の倉庫で四つ葉と天明寺が来るのを待っていたんだ。だがいつまで経っても誰も来ないからしびれを切らして A 階へ。するとこのラウンジの前でばったりとシグマに出くわして。
She went on to explain about the sound we heard.
なるほど。物音ですか。だとしたらやはり四つ葉さんと天明寺さんが犯人という可能性は濃厚でしょうか。
K とシグマは2人を捜索している間ずっと行動を共にしてたのか。
ええ、そうです。
片時も離れたことはなかった。
Nope.
いずれにせよ今はじっくりと考えている時間はなさそうです。
Oh, we've only got 7 minutes until the primary doors open.
やむをえん。B 階の倉庫に向かおう。もしかしたら四つ葉と天明寺はすでにあそこに行っているかもしれないし。
ところでディオさん
I'm done trying to understand Japanese. Is what?
バングル？
Not.
やはり回収してないんですね。ディオさんのバングルは緑のそろばん。一方 私とファイさんは紫のペア版ですから。
そうか、ふっかりしていた。ディオのバングルがないと
Okay.
私とケイ
So
は
guys, okay.
白の第二扉を開けないんだな。
そういうことになります。
Then we need to hurry. I could, we'll drop by the treatment center on the way back and grab the bracelet.
いえ、何も3人で行くことはないでしょう。バングルは私が拾ってきますから、お二人は先に下の倉庫に向かってください。
わかった。
ああ、そうそう。その前にこれをお渡ししておかなければ。
The yellow pair of bracelets? Were these Alice and Luna's?
ええ、この2つのバングルがないと青のそろばんであるシグマさんは先に進めなくなってしまいます。ですからさあ、どうぞ受け取ってください。
I grabbed the bracelets and shoved them into my pocket.
よし、それじゃあ行こう。
No, they're not here.
すると K が言ったように、やはり二人で白の扉の先へ。
With Quark's bracelet?
あるいは
Or what? Oh, come on, man. You better not give me that. Maybe they're already dead. Crap. I got enough of Neo Sigma. She's a woman. You've got to be kidding me. This isn't funny, Phi. If you're right, then you, K, Quark, and I are the only people still alive in here.
私だって信じたいさ。二人は生きていると。だが
We heard a noise and turned.
お待たせしました。
ディオのバングルは
それがもちろん回収はしてきたのですが、まあ見ていただくのが一番早いでしょう。これがポットの中に転がっていたディオさんのバングルです。
Oh, what the?
おそらく
Destroyed it.
ディオさんを殺害した犯人が壊したものと思われます。
But why? There's no point.
わかりません。しかし推測することなら、
カラードドアが開放されました。カラードドア閉鎖まで残り5分です。
バングルがこの状態では CD の認証をクリアすることはできないでしょう。
すると私と K はこの白の扉の先へは進めないということになるな。
Oh no. You're gonna.
時間が来たら、あそこにある3枚の扉は自動的に閉鎖される。その時誰かがこの倉庫に残ってたら、その人にはペナルティが課せられることになっちゃうんだうさ。
なるほど、犯人の狙いはそれか。そいつはこのゲームのルールを利用して間接的に私と K を殺そうと。そのためにディオのバングルを破壊したんだな。
そう考えるのが最も自然かと。
How can you be so calm? In 5 minutes, you're gonna be.
シグマ、お前は先に進め。さっき K からもらったバングルがあるだろう。あれを持っていればお前だけは第二扉を開くことができる。だから
Forget that. You know I can't just ditch you guys like that.
しかしこの場に留まっていればシグマさんまで。
You think I don't know that? But what kind of a monster am I if I just leave you here to die? No. This was bad. What was I going to do? I needed to calm down. Just calm down. Calm down and think. There had to be a way to save them. There had. No. No. To be continued. Okay. Let's see what happened with that. What the? It just stops there? What does that mean? What does that even mean? What? Okay. Okay. I want to get through this. How annoying. Let's see. Okay. I do want to. I still do want to do that. So I'll do that, and then I'll go do these. Maybe game round 1. Okay.
Sigma,
Good enough for me. And then just betray right here, right?
Ambidexゲ
Have him make him like that? Were you telling the truth? Our BP at 0, do we really...
私の言葉を信じたからこそ、お前は裏切りを選んだのだろう。安心しろ。それが正しい選択だ。
You better not have lied to me, so I choose betray.
嘘か誠かは、ゼロが教えてくれるだろう。
0?
シグマくん、ファイくん、何してるんだよ。結果発表始めちゃうよ。
だそうだ。行くぞ、シグマ。
Hey, what do you mean Zero's gonna tell me? Hey, Phi, hold on. Oh.
揃ったみたいだね。ほいじゃあ早速だけど始めることにしようか。アンビダックスゲーム第1ラウンド、お結果発表。皆さん画面にご注目ください。
Oh. Oh, they all betrayed. We all betrayed.
というわけで結果発表は以上なんだうさ。各自バングルの数字を確かめてほしいんだうさ。
シグマさん、ファイさん、これは一体どういうことですか？みんなで3回協力を選べば一緒に脱出することができるのに、2点かける3回で6点、最初の BP は3だから3たす6で9、目標値に達します。なのにどうして？
I hung my head. There was no way I could look her in the eye and try to explain what I'd done.
私が指示したんだ。裏切りを選べってな。そんな。3回よりも早く脱出できる方法がある。2回裏切りを成功させれば 3点 ×2 回で6点だ。すると AB ゲーム2回目にして BP が9に。
分かっていますよ、そんなことは。だから誰よりも早く脱出するためにあなたたちは裏切りを選んだんでしょ。
いや、誤解するな。そういうわけではない。私は少しでも有利にゲームを進めるために。
有利に進めてどうしようって言うんです。
最終的にはみんなで一緒に脱出を。
嘘ですよ、そんなの信じられるわけないじゃないですか。
Their eyes met for a long moment, but all I could see in Luna's was sadness and disappointment. Phi opened her mouth, then shut it again and looked away. I was about to apologize to Luna when...
ちょっと、どういうこと？
アリス、ごめん。まさかアリスが協力を選ぶなんて思わなかったの。
私が四つ葉相手に裏切りを選ぶわけないでしょ。
私も最初はそう思ったんだけど。
K が裏切りを選ぶように言ったのね。
ええ、アリスさんは間違いなく裏切りを選ぶと思いました。
だから四つ葉がいるのにそんなことするわけないでしょ。
ではお聞きしますが、私たちが裏切りを選択するとは全く考えませんでしたか？
え？
あなたは四つ葉さんが裏切りに投票するとは考えないでしょう。しかし私であったらどうでしょうか。自分で言うのもなんですが、この状況で顔を隠した人間を信用するのは難しい。私がアリスさんの立場でしたら、相手が裏切りを出す可能性を考えます。
それはでも四つ葉がいるもの。
もしも私が実力行使に出たら、四つ葉さんには抵抗できないでしょう。私はアリスさんがそう考えて裏切りを選ぶのではないかと考えました。
だから自分も裏切りを選んだってこと？
ええ、そうです。
K からそう言われて、私もそうかもしれないと思って。
とりあえず話は分かったわ。
本当にごめんね、アリス。
私からも謝ります。大変申し訳ありませんでした。
とにかく過ぎたことを言っても仕方がないわ。次の AB ゲームで挽回すればいいだけのことだし。
That was when I finally noticed Theo for Continuoshi.
天明寺、一つだけ忠告しておこう。そのクソガキはただもんじゃないぞ。人を欺くことにかけては天才かもしれん。お前らがどんな関係にあるのかは知らんが、あまり気を緩めない方が身のためだ。いいか、分かったな天明寺。そのガキを侮るな。
It looked like things hadn't gone as planned for the other teams either. Nonetheless, we all seem to have reached some sort of truce.
ねえゼロ、次のラウンドはいつ行われるの？
よくわかったね、次のラウンドがあるって。
だってあなた第1ラウンドって言ったじゃない。第1があるなら第2があるのは当然でしょ。
それにそもそも AB ゲームは BP を9以上にすることが目的だったはずです。2回目がなければ誰もその数値に達することはできません。
ああ、まあそうだね。確かに君たちが言った通り、第2ラウンドは開催されるよ。
いつ？
いつかはわからない。
どうして？
投票の受付は AB ルームの扉、AB ゲートが開いた時から始まるからなんだうさ。
すでに開いてますけど。
そうだね。じゃあ閉めちゃおうっと。
アンビデックスゲートが閉鎖されました。アンビデックスゲーム第2ラウンド ンドは月の貝です。ゲートは月のマークが記されたカードキーにより解錠されます。
Moon cards? Does that mean we can't use these cards anymore since they've got suns on them?
そうなるね。次は月のマークがついたやつを探さないと。
で結局トータルでは何回行われるんだ AB ゲームは。
そう何回になるんだろうね。回数はわからないけど、とにかく誰かが9の扉を開くまでは続けるつもり。
逆に言うと、誰かの BP が9以上になった時点でゲームは終了ということか。
その人が9の扉を開きさえしなければゲームが継続されるよ。もちろんシーソーゲームな感じで全員の BP が1から8の間を行ったり来たりと繰り返された場合も同じ。 BP が9を超える人が現れない限りは当然9の扉も開けないわけで、そうなると第3ラウンド、第4ラウンド、第5ラウンド、第100ラウンド、第200ラウンド、第2449万4897ラウンドまで続いちゃう可能性だってあるんだよさ。そうならないことを心から祈ってるけど。
Hey, can I ask you something?
何？
There's rules about who can go into the secondary doors, right? Like, you have to have 3 people, exactly.
それで？
Let's see. Oh, about the number 9 door. See how much of this is the same. So now it's the same. This. Okay.
9の扉については人数制限はないよ。1人でもいいし、2人でもいいし、ルール上は9人全員で脱出することだってできちゃうんださ。それからシグマくん、君は CD の第2扉に入るには必ず3人でチームを組まなければならないって思ってるみたいだけど、それちょっと違うから。
What do you mean?
実は1人や2人でもあの扉を開けちゃう方法があるんださ。
そんな最初に言ってたことと違うじゃない。
あの時は分かりやすく説明するためにああ言ったまでで。
それでその方法というのは、
バングルを使うんだよ。
バングル？
ちゃんとルールにのっとった組み合わせになってるかどうかは第1扉と第2扉の間にあるスキャナーによって識別される。とはいえあの装置は何も人間の体をスキャンしてるわけじゃないんださ。
バングルを認識してるんですね。
その通り。
Okay.
だから正しい組み合わせのバングルさえあれば開くんだよ。第2扉1人だろうと2人だろうとね。
But wait, hold on a minute. Do these things even come off?
外れるよ。
どうすれば外せるの？
方法は2つある。1つ目は9の扉を開いて脱出すること。この建物を出たらバングルのロックは自動的に解除される。
Yeah.
2つ目はおい答えろよゼロ。2つ目の方法は何なんだ？
ディオくん、君はすでにその方法を知ってるんじゃないかな。
なんだと？
そのバングル本当に取りたいと思ってる？
当たり前だろ。
そうだったら簡単だよ。教えてあげる。
It's probably the same up to when I get in the room.
死ねばいいんだ。シ 心臓にはっていうか、他の筋組織についても言えることなんだけど、わずかな電気が流れてるの知ってるかな？ほら、心電図ってあるでしょ？あれは心筋に生じた電流の推移をグラフ化したものなんだよね。ところで、電気が流れてるってことは、当然そこから微弱な電波も放たれていることになるわけで、君たちのバングルはその電波を拾ってるんだよ、常にね。で、その電波が途絶えると、
バングルのロックが解除されるんだな。
そういうこと。これが2つ目の方法。心臓が止まればその人のバングルは外れるようになってるんだよさ。これら2つの方法以外では決してバングルを取ることはできない。もしも無理に外そうとしたり破壊を試みようとした場合には、
I do wonder if someone would be
即座に
crazy
ル
enough
ー
to
ル
cut
違
their
反
hand
と
off
み
to
な
get
さ
the
れる。
bracelet off.
ルール違反を犯した者がどうなるのかは言うまでもないよね。ああ、そうそう、運が良ければ次のラウンドで実際にバングルが外れるところを見られるかもしれないよ。あ、ごめん。当事者にとっては運が悪ければだね。
次のラウンド？
どういう意味よ？
わからないかな。次の AB ゲームで誰かが死ぬことになるかもしれない。そう言ってるんだよ。まあ死ぬとしたら天明じいさんかアリスくんかルナくんのうちの誰かなんだけどね。いや、全員って可能性もあるかな。
なんじゃと？
どうしてですか？
そうよ。どうして私が死ななきゃならないのよ。
ふむ、教えて信ぜよう。 BP が0以下になった人にはルール違反を犯した時と同じようにペナルティが課せられるんだうさ。そのペナルティが何なのかは前にも言った通りだよ。
You mean the needles in our bracelets are gonna activate and we'll die?
シグマくん、正解。
So, Phi had been right. But how had she known before Zero told us?
なるほど。わしとアリスとルナの BP は1。次のラウンドで2点引かれて0以下になるのはこの3人しかおらんわけか。
そんなふざけないでよ。どうしてそんな大事なことを最初に言わないわけ？
ごめんちょす。
ごめんで済む問題じゃないでしょ。あんたそれでもこのゲームの進行役？
まあ一応。
だったらルール説明ぐらいちゃんとしなさいよ。正確なルールも知らされずにゲームをするなんてフェアじゃないわ。
フェアだと思うけど、だって他のみんなも知らなかったわけだしね。ファイ君。
ああ、そうだな。
I took a moment to go over everything in my head. The AB game would continue until someone opened the number 9 door. There were no rules about how many people could or couldn't pass through the number 9 door. That meant it was possible for everyone to escape. The secondary chromatic doors could be opened by any number of people, so long as you had the right bracelets. The bracelets would only unlock under 2 conditions: if you left the building, or if your heart stopped. If your BP hit 0, the needles in your bracelet would activate and kill you.
最後に一つだけ言っておこう。君たちが次に開くべき CD は下のフロアにある。もう見たよね。例の赤、青、緑3枚の扉がそれだ。これらの先に進むには表示色が水色、紫色、黄色になったバングルが必要なわけなんだけど、実はこれ君たちはもう持ってたりするんだよね。バングルを見てごらん。文字の色が変わってるでしょ。
Yeah, it did change. Mine changed from red to cyan.
私も同じ水色になってるわ。
私も。ってあれ、変わってるの色だけじゃないみたいね。ペアとソロの区別もさっきと違う。
私はソロからペアに、四つ葉はペアからソロになってるわね。
私のバングルもペアからソロに変化しています。
わしはその逆じゃ。ソロからペアになっておる。
僕はペアのまんまだよ。
色は3人とも紫色のようですね。
私は黄色。区別はソロのまま変化なしです。ファイさんとディオさんも黄色ですね。
ああ。
ペアのな。
いつの間に変わったんだろう。
AB ゲートを閉鎖した時だよ。 AB ゲートが閉まると同時にバングルの表示色は自動的にシャッフルされるようになってるんだうさ。
Okay.
それからソロとペアの区別もね。シャッフルの仕方はあくまでもランダム。特に法則性みたいなものはないんだうさ。
Alright, I'm ready to get to the next escape room.
さてと、
Ah,
というわけで
let's just go do
こ
it.
れにて僕は消えるのだ。もしかしたらもう二度と君たちに会うことはないかもしれない。進行役としての僕の務めはもうほとんど果たしたようなもんだからね。あとは君たちだけでも十分やっていけるでしょ。だから君たちとはもうこれでお別れってことに。って泣くと思った。バーカバーカ。泣くわけないじゃん。あっはー。
What the?
まあとにかく頑張ってよ。こっそりとウサバの陰から見守ってるからさ。ほいじゃあまたいつかどこかで。Have a nice tragedy!
Okay, all that's the same. Let's get to the new escape room.
ゼロの野郎。実物が存在するならウサギ汁にして食ってやるんだが。
That sounds gross. I don't really want to think about that.
ねえ、そんなことよりもどうするの？これから CD の第一扉が開くまでまだだいぶあるけど。
Yeah, it looks like about 42 minutes.
とにかく他に出口がないかどうか探してみましょう。通風口とかダストシュートとか、もしかしたらゼロの見落としてる場所があるかもしれないし。
賛成です。こんなところでじっとしていても仕方がありません。やれるだけのことはやって、それでもどうにもならなければ例の
I wonder if it still shows I'm on that. I don't
で
know
は
if it's-
別れて探索することにしよ
so I'm right here now.
う。集合時間は CD の第一扉が開く5分前。場所は同じく CD の第一扉前。ということでいいな。
There were none. After some nods and mumbling, they split up and moved off to investigate. I was the only person who stayed behind. end up here? Why? Why me? Try as I might, I couldn't think of anything I'd done that could have went. Oh, yeah. No way. Yep. Backstory. Is it going to show me the backstory again? Yep. Alright, let's go. Yep. Yep. Alright. Yeah, let's go. Okay. Well, this is the path for when you pick the tray. So. Bye!